Everything except her speech was pre-recorded. Let me just laugh. Woo. Anyways, joining me now, Libertarian Party Chairman, Andy Cornholder. Andy, how are ya? You there? Hello? Can y'all hear him? Say something, General. Here, try going back down. I'll bring you back. Yeah. Hello. Oh. Yeah. Check your audio settings, or something. Oof. Well, nope, still can't hear you. Here, I'll move you back down. Try to fix that. We'll bring you back up later. You know, there's a couple people down here, but there's one person in particular I'd really like to have on the show. Hold on, let me open a DM. No, I will not be interested. Thank you. Anyways. Nah, you don't. I mean, if you want to stream it, you can. Anyways, Andy, can you speak? Nope, still can't hear you, bud. Oh, not the music bot. Let me. Yeah, I can't hear you, bud. I'm very sorry for your loss, man. Yeah, we'll bring you. Try getting that fixed, and we'll bring you back up later. Let's see if it's DM. Yeah, I wanted you to speak. Okay, joining me. Oh, Andy,
can you hear me now?
Yes, Andy.
I switched to my phone. I'm sorry.
All
about
good.
that.
So, what's your? I'm going to ask you a few things. We got a lot of people to speak with tonight. We got a great list of people. Andy Cornholder, what's your initial thoughts about the Democratic National Convention?
I think it was a joke. I think all that was completely staged. The speeches didn't even sound real when I heard them. They sound like a bunch of robots, and it's just so humiliating to be a Democrat. Right now, I think.
Hold on, we got some fake people trying to intervene. Okay, please continue.
As again, I think if I was a Democrat right now, I'd be completely embarrassed and humiliated that we watched all of that. It's such a shame.
I would too, especially when, everybody and their grandmother, including the Republican president of the United States, is apparently supporting her. It's really, really interesting. The current events. And what's your initial thoughts about the Republican nominee not even showing up to the debate?
I think the reasoning that he didn't join the debate was completely reasonable. There was a power outage at his base. So it's just life. It's hard.
And after that, he stated he wanted to kill himself. And you heard my response to that. I'd probably kill myself if I had to debate her as well.
I would too.
Yeah. And what's your what's Libertarians' plan to not necessarily win, because we know how third party races go, but how do you plan on getting a decent chunk of the change, if you know what I'm saying?
Well, as again, we're focusing on a grassroots effort. Reaching out to voters. Voters who are not really satisfied with the two-party system. Yeah, we're more trying to get into the Senate and House representative campaigns, elections, and all that stuff. But it's all about building a strong foundation, and we're getting there right now with our current candidate running for president, Miguel, which I have full confidence in. And I think if he was president, he'd do a way better job than Stephanie Coleman.
Alrighty, thank you, Andy. Always a pleasure having you. We'll
Thank you.
have you on the show again soon. Joining me now, Republican assumptive nominee for President of the United States, Henry Taylor. Let's bring him up. Mr. Taylor, how are
Can y'all
you?
hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So I hear there was a power outage where you're at.
But now apparently it's back up. So
That's good. So if the debate actually happened, who would win? You or Stephanie Coleman?
here's what I think about Stephanie Coleman. I think that in terms of graphics and fancy edited videos, as you saw from the DNC, she obviously has me beat. But when it comes to debating and public speaking, there is no doubt that I would crush her in a debate.
Interesting. What are some of your goals when you're president?
So a lot of my policies are mainline military strength, government transparency, being very open and honest to the United States civilians as government should be, and healthcare, obviously, economy. I know that's a big one that people are looking at right now, and fixing the border. These are all big issues that people have been talking about. There's obviously smaller issues along the line, but we need to focus on the big issues first.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Well, you said you think you'd want to debate with her, correct?
Yes.
Well, joining me now, Democratic presidential nominee Stephanie Coleman. 1 second, or I specifically said your running mate cannot be up here. I'll talk to him in a bit. Thank you.
It's giving Kamala Harris needing Tim Walz to do interviews.
Waits for her to join. Oh, see, she's AFK. Well, would you like to? Sees DM. Okay, she's eating.
She needs her running mate in order to do interviews.
Yeah. Apparently, she's eating. The only thing she's eating is pussy. Anyways, joining me now, Democratic Vice President nominee, Mr. Lord. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
What is I'm blessed as always. What is you and Stephanie's plan to rebuild this country?
Well, it's quite simple. Our plan focuses on 3 key issues that I am sure the American people, are very passionate about, and that they. Well, first of all, is the economy. The economy has been something that has been at the forefront of Americans' minds. Under a Coleman-Lord administration, we would work to cut taxes for the working families and the middle class of America, while also making sure that the top big billionaires of America are paying what they need to pay in taxes. And we will close the tax loopholes that have been existing in this nation for decades. And secondly, in regards to the border, it's a matter of us needing more security. We need more officers at the border. We need more people to process these people. We need more people to do background checks on these immigrants at the border. Because, there are some, I'm going to say this, that there are some, bad people who try to come across the border. But in that same vein, there are also good people, families who try to come to this nation and try to live, work, and thrive in this nation. And secondly, I'm going to touch up on the issue of, foreign affairs. Well, thirdly, finally, I'm going to touch up on the issue of foreign affairs. Stephanie believes that it is increasingly important that we stand up to China, and that we stand up to Russia, and that we stand up to all the other dictatorships within the world. She thinks it's important that we, get on the world stage, that we,
hold on, James. I'm gonna stop you right there. There's a report that Vladimir Putin has came out to endorse Stephanie Coleman for president?
Yeah, that's because Stephanie is in the back.
Excuse me, Mr. Taylor, I'm speaking. The question was to me. It was not to
Who the
you.
fuck do you think you are? Okay, you're not a woman, so you don't get to say that.
It was not to you. It was to me. Thank you.
Wait, you have Xi Jinping in your backpack too? Were you made in the CCP, Mr. Moore?
I am confident that Stephanie Coleman will not accept the endorsement of the Russian president or the Russian dictator, for that matter, and she will not accept the endorsement of any other world leader that is not promoting democracy and that is not promoting human rights within their nation.
Okay, Mr. Lord. Was the convention pre-recorded?
Oh, most definitely.
Let me answer that.
Excuse me, Mr. Taylor. The question was to me. It was not to you. So if you could just please sit down, thank you.
No,
Well,
actually. Thanks very much.
Henry, please be quiet. Henry, please.
It matters.
Oh, for real?
In the regard towards the DNC, there, I believe, and I can't really speak on this because I wasn't directly involved in some of the planning, but I will say that there were some elements of the DNC, and I don't believe in the lying to the American people. I believe that there were some elements of the DNC that, yes, some of them were pre-recorded because some people cannot come out and actually be at the DNC at that time. So that is why, we had some parts recorded. But for the most part, most of it was live. And most of it was there. The energy was up. Everybody was excited, and we were all ready to, begin a new path for America. We are all ready to chart a new course, and that is what we are going to do under a Coleman administration.
Okay, Mr. Lord, Mr. Taylor, thank you for coming on tonight. Always a pleasure having y'all. Hope to see y'all again soon. Thank you. Miss Coleman. 1 second. Miss Coleman, how are you? Sees DMs. Okay, well, okay, well, you're muted. So,
Hello, how are you?
I'm like I said, blessed as always. Blessed as always.
That's wonderful.
Okay, I don't know what you're planning for. I'm not running. I'm running for president of the Drake Tonight Show. But, anyways, Mrs. Coleman, I like to first start off by saying that was a very great convention that was scripted. Unlike my shows that get more views than your convention does. But anyways, after that hour of a straight yawning convention, I noticed one thing, and that Taylor Swift was performing at the convention. Is this true?
Yes, it is true.
Okay. Well, what does it say to the American voter that a woman who is famous for singing about the picking the wrong guy is supporting you for president? What does that say to the voter?
Please ask the question again. I think
I stated what does it say to the American voter that a girl who is famous for singing about picking the wrong guy is endorsing you for president?
I mean, isn't it her right? Isn't it her right to endorse anyone she would like?
I'm not saying she can't endorse whoever she like. I'm just asking you.
Would you like to get Taylor Swift in here now?
Not really. If I wanted to talk to a fish, I'd go to Red Lobster. But I'm asking you, what does it say to the
fish? Fish? You think she's a
yes,
fish? What makes her a fish?
Smells like it, sings like one. Do I really need to describe anything else?
So you were there at the end. So you were there during her performance to know that she smelled like fish.
I want
so you think she smells like
in a mile radius? But Mrs. Coleman, I asked you a question.
I have a question.
Coleman, I asked you a question.
No,
what does it look like to the American?
No, I have a question. After you leave here tonight,
this is my show. I'm asking a question. You can answer it or you can get off of it.
Let's just swap the roles for a second.
Ask
Soon as you walk into your, soon as you walk into your home today,
interview.
Soon as you walk into your home tonight, what is the first thing that you're gonna smell? I'm sure it's not gonna be appetizing.
Kentucky Fried Chicken that I just picked up in the drive-thru, probably.
Really?
But Ms. Coleman, I asked you a question, and that is, what does it look like to the American voter when a girl who is famous for picking the wrong guy is endorsing you for president? What does that say to them?
Let's go on to the next question here.
So you're okay. I'm going to answer the question, Mrs. Coleman. I asked your running mate this, but why was your convention pre-recorded and scripted?
Well, in role play, it was actually virtual. Outside of role play, it didn't look like that, but in role play, it was meant to look virtual. Because, like I said, the DNC was going to be a virtual DNC.
Okay, that's cool. So, why didn't it happen earlier?
The DNC?
No, the Yawn Fest convention. Yes, the DNC.
Well, first off, I was stood up by Henry Taylor, attending a debate, which he was not even there because of a dumb excuse about his power base had went out. We all know that he was cracking.
I'm not talking about the debate. I asked why didn't the convention happen earlier? Because it was supposed to happen, I believe, at 5 p.m.
Well, we had some technical difficulties, and that's why.
Okay. Interesting. Now, it's gonna be my last question. Just give me 1 second. So another person who was at the convention, Katy Perry, she made a song. I'm sure you've heard of it. I Kissed a Girl. Have you and Katy Perry made out?
Excuse me? That was a very inappropriate question.
You heard me, Madam Maybe President.
Did me and Katy Perry make out? Well, first off, if you were really looking at the DNC, which seems like to me you were, when I was walking into the convention, you could see that I was questioned by press, and I said I was looking at Katy Perry and her performance while on the way to the DNC. What possible time could I have chance to exchange sexual intercourses with her?
Okay, I was just curious. There's another song she made in 2020. It says, "Cry about it later." Are you going to be crying about it on November 5th when you're not elected president?
Well, we all know who's going to win. It's obvious. It's been shown in the polls. I mean,
Henry Taylor's actually, factually, this was an NBC poll, which is a very liberal news organization, has Henry Taylor at 45%, you at 36%. And put that in the context, a libertarian has about half of the support you have.
Well, the polls is one thing, the votes are another. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see tomorrow. We'll just have to see tomorrow where I will win, because we know it, we see it. It's been proven. So,
well, Stephanie, the day you win is the day Taylor Swift makes a good song. Stephanie Coleman, pleasure having you. Best of luck tomorrow. And you as well, Mr. Lord. Hold on. There's been a couple more people that have been requesting the join. Let me see if they're ready now here. second. I don't know how to spell, apparently. Just like how Taylor Swift doesn't know how to sing. 1 second. California girls are African. Oh, never mind. There's Josh Hawley asking the. Oh, I'll get Spencer and then you do. All right. Joining me now, sitting Attorney General Spencer Barrett.
Good evening.
Attorney General, how are you?
I'm doing quite well, actually.
That's beautiful to hear. I'm being glazed in the general chat right now. Anyways, so this is interesting to see a member of the Leland administration. What's the president doing to cut down on crime in our cities?
So quite simple. He's been working with the Department of Justice on prosecuting crimes in our country. We've prosecuted so far 4 criminals that came along. We prosecuted 1 criminal for shooting up the White House. We've prosecuted 3 more individuals for the Hatch Act violations because, it's kind of big that campaigns don't know how to follow the Hatch Act for some reason because, quite frankly, I think that they're stupid. But anyways, I think that the Department of Justice is working quite well on prosecuting criminals.
All right. This has nothing in relation to you. I'm just pointing out something relating to the last thing. You don't have to comment on it or not. The audience, NBC, right after our segment with Stephanie Coleman, just released a poll and says, who are you casting your vote for tomorrow? Henry Taylor has built up from his original 45% and is at 50% in polls. Stephanie still not even within the margin of error, at 42%. So the question is to just the audience, are we going to see a electoral landslide from a man who didn't even show up to debate? Or are we going to see a false polled election that's actually tighter than voters predict? That's the question for the voters. And, the poll is still live as we speak. But this is the most competitive this race has gotten. When Liam Reagan, God bless his soul, rest in peace, was offered to be his running mate, but we don't have to go there. Anyways, he was down in the polls, but right now it is neck and neck with the Libertarian nominee taking what's left. Just saying. Before I let you go, Mr. Leland, since you're a member of Mr. Barrett, sorry, I was referring to the Leland administration. I know you don't, specialize in the budget at all, but you're a member of his cabinet, so I'm hoping you can answer this question. Why haven't we seen a budget from the administration?
Well, quite frankly, I don't control what Congress does with the president. That is a presidential and Congress negotiation on the budget because he does the budget and Congress passes the budget and so forth. But I'm not sure what the status of the budget is, but
Okay. Attorney General Barrett, thanks for coming on our show.
Thanks for having
me. All right. Next up, there's someone in a similar field to the Attorney General. Judge Josh Hawley. Mr. Hawley, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. So what have you been doing as judge?
Well, a bunch of things really, but giving out guilty verdicts to these criminals and getting them behind bars. That's what I've been doing the most.
That's cool. That's cool. So, since you're a judge, have you heard about the current instance where Haiti illegal immigrants have been eating cats in Springfield, Ohio?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Mr. Coleman, I'm gonna call you Mr. Coleman. I don't know why you're up here, girl. Goodbye. So have you heard about the case with the cats and dogs being eaten?
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Who invited me up here?
I don't know. I didn't invite you. Oh my god, that's Robert. How are you? Anyways. That was fun.
But yeah, I did hear about that. I don't know what to say about it because honestly, that's just disgusting. But
So, what do you think should be done about it?
well, as with all criminal cases and all cases in general, I think that the Department of Justice should look into it. But to be honest, I don't have an opinion on it because I'm a judge and I can't have an opinion on ongoing cases. But yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Holly. Thank you for coming on. Great for having you.
Thanks. Anytime.
Yeah. One last person before we go, and I've just been told from the grapevine, my producers, that a certain person wants to come on. America First contributor,
Who's inviting me up here? Oh, yes.
I was told you wanted to come up here by someone.
Oh, are they in here? Oh, yes. Hello. Hold on. I need to see what my producers are telling me. Okay. I've come on here to endorse Stephanie Coleman for president.
Okay.
Yep, that's what my producers told me to say.
What makes you? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's bring him up here. I got a couple more questions for Robert.
Yes.
All right, Robert. So, what makes you support her?
Oh, I definitely think that she is a candidate who inspires people. I mean, when you think about it, and she, we talk about some of her policies. Really, she, she did the thing, and that's why she's running, right? And she wants to make America great. And honestly, I was just invited here.
Fair enough, Robert. Well, hope you're doing blessed. It's been a while since I've been in your server, so hope everything's going good in life. We got 7 minutes to kill. Let's invite one more person. We're gonna invite let's see what Andy Cornholder has to say. Andy Cornholder, I see you again.
Yeah.
I got a question. So we have seen we're looking at pre-election polls, and we're looking at the Libertarian nominee, and similar to most elections, third-party candidates, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., get all the support before, way before November 5th or whatnot. And then you see there's, in the polls, their support slowly decrease. So you look at the NBC poll from Jack Bernhardt at NBC yesterday, 5:24 p.m. Eastern. Your nominee was at 18%. And now we're looking at today's polls, and he's down to 13%. Same pollster. How are libertarians going to really, I guess you could say, lock in before election night, which is tomorrow?
Well, I just wanted to say it's all about a grassroots movement, but I also want to mention that nobody's going to be winning under Stephanie Coleman. She believes in a government that picks winners and losers, and I think it'd be great to be a libertarian because we believe in free markets. Unlike Stephanie Coleman, she believes in crony capitalism, which doesn't work, and it just increases debt, and it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the worker. It doesn't help the government at all. Come on, we're spending money we don't have, and Stephanie Coleman's going to increase that a lot higher. But yeah, it's going to be hard to be a libertarian when it comes to polls and getting voters. But we're working there. We're getting somewhere one of these days. We'll get there, and I think we'll win the White House one of these days.
Do you think Miguel could have a surprise victory tomorrow?
Sorry, say again?
Do you think your nominee can have a victory tomorrow?
I can't be too sure. It appears that the polling shows that Henry and Stephanie are currently tied. If we could garner a lot more support overnight, maybe, but I couldn't be too sure. It's just been crazy with the polls. Sometimes one time we actually tied in the polls with everybody else, but I can't be too sure. It's going to be one hell of an election day tomorrow.
And would a victory be counted as winning electoral vote?
Say again?
I said, would you count winning an electoral vote a victory tomorrow?
Yes, I think it would be a very good victory. I think it's the first time the Libertarian Party's ever won an electoral vote before. I think that's a goal we've been trying to achieve for years. Heck, a long ass time.
What states are libertarians really pushing the campaign in right now?
Mainly states that are, I guess would say full of classical liberals. We're mainly trying to go for the Democrat voters. They usually agree with our social issues, not really our economic issues, but we're also trying to work with Republicans who can kind of agree with our economic policy. So I think the states we're trying to go for would probably be Georgia or Wisconsin. One of the states, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, Georgia could have a decent chance because I'm sure you remember there's a gentleman. He's well known within the libertarian community. His name goes by Chase Oliver. Actually, led the Georgia Senate race in 2022 to being a runoff because of his work. So we'll see. Well, best of luck tomorrow. Always good having you guys on Libertarians. You guys are fun to talk to you. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got to wrap up the show in about 3 minutes. My producers are telling me, but now I just like to say that Miss Coleman asked me for receipts earlier, but you think there's a way we could get receipts to the tickets to the convention? Oh wait, couldn't help but laugh when I saw with my own eyes that convention that was really pre-recorded. But that's all for Tonight America. You have a Republican candidate who, is decent policy. Didn't show up to the debate, but wasn't necessarily his fault. The one who pre-recorded her winning Democrats over. And a libertarian. So, this election's going to be tight. Like my wife's vagina. But in saying that, I think it's fair to the American voter that I do on live tonight, before we go, endorse a candidate for president. And thank you. I'm already, ruling out the Stephanie Coleman. I just can't support someone who has to, script a convention. If she didn't script a convention, I would have considered. But consider the consideration obliterated, like it will be on November 5th. And I have high respect to the Libertarian Party and Mr. Miguel. I don't know how to say her last name. Andy Cornholder's been a great guy. I've been friends with him for years and years. But there's one man in this race that I just have to support. His policy aligns with my views. We both like hookers. We both served in the military. I don't think I can say more than that. So tonight, and with all my high power I have as a leader of a TV show, I proudly endorse and support Henry Taylor for president of these United States. And I consider Stephanie Coleman to maybe run for a position at McDonald's, and maybe, just maybe, she'll win. Happy Sunday.